This right here is the Zinc, and this is one of my favorite blasters for private events, of course, because of its overall problematic silhouette. This version right here is the Zinc 2.0, and it actually had a few problems. 3 to be exact, 3 that really bothered me. The first one I already mentioned, the profile. A little bit problematic. Secondly is the magazine. These magazines are really cool, and they do eject, which is awesome in itself, but I wish it just took a more standard magazine, like maybe a worker Talon, or even an angled Talon, or possibly a Nightingale. And lastly was this blaster's uncomfortable prime. It just, yes, it looks like it's easy to prime, but I will say after playing with this thing for quite a bit of time, your hand gets real tired and you start to slip on this priming handle. It just needed some type of thing to grab onto. Fortunately, there's a product sent in from Frontline Foam that addresses all these issues. This right here is the Magnesium. I see what they did there. What's going to be the next blaster, the Cobalt? So in today's video, we're going to check out the Magnesium, see how good it is, check out its performance, and talk about some of the changes. Let's go ahead and jump into today's video. The first thing to talk about is the Zinc's problematic profile. Say that 3 times fast. Right here, the Magnesium addresses that by making it more of a sci-fi looking blaster. Now keep in mind, this Zinc 2.0 is a bit modified. It has a kind of a sci-fi barrel added onto the front, and I went with some bright colors to help alleviate some of the issues with it. Now when looking at the Magnesium, it's quite clear this thing is a toy. Due to its strange double barrels in the front, it's very elongated, kind of sci-fi back stock that's not really a stock. We'll talk about that in a bit. With the right colors on this, I do believe this is a much safer blaster to run in a public setting. And the next area to talk about, which you can see right here, this blaster takes talons. Now this already makes this blaster a much more attractive blaster for people that are in the Talon magazine ecosystem. Let's go ahead and check out some other Talons and see if they work in this blaster. Okay, so we're going to check mag compatibility with a few of these mags. We have the standard worker Talon, which we've already done some testing with it. We know it works. Once again, that prime is so much better than the old blaster. And mag release is really sweet. Here we have the worker curved mag. Whew. Yeah, no issues there. Doesn't seem like it drops as well though. Next up is the added darts Coda mag. The feed lips on the Coda don't seem to be going in too well. It's good to know. Let's try the Tachi. It's a very similar feed lip. Yeah, it's not looking like that works. So we got some incompatibility there. Probably has something to do with just the overall feed lips on these. So the Magnesium prefers this one. I've tried to put the magazine in the pistol grip so many times. I mean, old habits are hard to break. So gone is the way of the Zinc magazine, which is fine. It's kind of sad because I really love doing that. It's so cool. But I'll trade for Talon capability. Now the final upgrade or change to the Magnesium over the Zinc 2.0 is this priming handle. As you can see, that's way easier to prime. Now the only thing I would recommend is possibly doing the same thing on the other side so that you have 2, which would make it a little bit easier to prime and also make it ambidextrous. Right now it's pretty much set up for a right-handed user. There I go again, trying to shove that in the pistol grip. And this thing slaps. Let's take this over to the chronograph and the range and check out its performance. We'll be doing today's testing with fresh Worker Gen 3s thanks to added darts. 182, 189, 193, and 194. Yeah, so the Magnesium brings some serious power. Let's check out its accuracy at 50 feet. Overall, I'd say it's a very accurate blaster. However, the profile of it, because of this top barrel being fake, makes it kind of interesting to aim with. Just takes a little bit of practice. Overall, I'm a big fan of the Magnesium. I want to thank Frontline Foam for sending this in. If you'd like to pick up one of these and support the DrFlux channel, use the official Frontline Foam DrFlux affiliate link in the description. Now, before we wrap up, I do want to mention there is an N-strike attachment point that you can replace out with this little stock here. Stock. I can't really foresee using this as a stock. I mean, yeah, that's not gonna cut it. With an N-strike attachment point on here, replaces this part here and can attach like that, which then makes this blaster able to be shouldered. I, however, will probably just be running it like this and maybe even pulling this part off because it's just a little silly. The last thing that I'm not too crazy about on this blaster is that fake top barrel. I'm just not a big fan of fake barrels. I would almost prefer it to just be redesigned as more of a sci-fi, maybe like a plasma pistol looking front end or something to where it just looks more like a fake sci-fi blaster in the front. The other thing about this is as you're aiming with it, you have a tendency to shoot low. So I usually just want to put a little bit more of an arc on it because it is coming from down here. But other than that, this blaster is a ton of fun to use, has a lot of power, has a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see what other things come out for this ecosystem. As always, I'm DrFlux. I want to thank you for watching today's video. Be safe and happy foam flinging.